Welcome to In the Zoom Where It Happens with our hosts, Shannon Spees and Brandon Krekel.
Hi, I'm Shannon Spees.
And I'm Brandon Krekel. And today we have the wonderful Kristin Tyson. She's the Kansas City Bank president with CrossFirst Bank. Welcome, Kristin.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. We're excited to be here today.
Absolutely. So we'll just get started with the first question. It's a tough one, so prepare yourself. Tell us a little bit about CrossFirst Bank.
Okay, CrossFirst Bank, we just celebrated our 14th year anniversary on October the 1st. Bank was founded here in Kansas City, and in 14 years, we have grown from Kansas City to Wichita, to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Frisco, and most recently the Scottsdale area. We are about $5.5 billion in assets and really focused mostly on businesses and private clients. We do that really with a branch-like strategy. So we invest in people and invest in technology. The bank went public about 2 years ago. And the fact that we've grown from zero in assets to $5.5 billion in assets is a true testament of the belief in the business model and the belief in relationships and connections that have helped us grow that to that point.
Well, and I'm sure the people who work there are also awesome, and I'm sure that's played a big part in the growth as well. And you, of course, tell us a little bit about how you got involved with CrossFirst Bank, your path to the position you're in now.
You bet. I started my banking career when I was in college as a teller, so I've really been in every area of client-facing bank services. So from retail banking to commercial banking to private wealth management. When I joined CrossFirst 5 years ago, I joined to be the managing director of the private client services group, helped to grow that group. And then in June of last year, when Mike Maddox, who had been the Kansas City Bank president, was promoted to the CEO of the holding company, I was fortunate enough to be selected to succeed Mike as a Kansas City Bank president. And I truly feel that a couple of things. One, being that I do have a pretty broad knowledge of banking and from all areas of banking was very helpful in me taking this role. And Kansas City is my hometown. I'm a Kansas City girl, love our community, very involved in the community, and I love people. And so just continuing the culture that Mike built for the 9 years before I joined the bank, being able to continue that, invest in our clients and invest in our people and invest in our community is really my three pillars of focus.
Well, and I love that I saw on your website that your bank's purpose is serving people in extraordinary ways. And the extraordinary, just that term stands out so much and speaks volumes of who you are and how you treat the community and the people and your clients. So,
yeah.
Well, being from Kansas City and born and raised Kansas City, the Plaza is such a big part of the city, and sometimes it's how we're recognized from those that aren't familiar with Kansas City. They know the Plaza. So tell us about the new location at CrossFirst Bank on the Plaza and how that came about and what that means to you as a community bank.
Yeah, when I first started talking to Mike 5 years ago, being able to expand our brand out of just Leawood, Kansas to the Plaza was really an important focus for us because we wanted to make a statement that we are a Kansas City bank, not just a Leawood, Kansas bank. And so the Plaza was the perfect place to do that. So that has been in the works for quite some time. We finally moved into our space in September of last year, right during the pandemic. So, our employees have been really excited about getting back together. And so we brought all of our employees back at the end of March. And so most of our client-facing employees at this point are located at the Plaza. We do still have about 12 to 15 people in our Leawood Bank at 135th and Row, but part of our strategic plan is to continue to add talent on the field, and I will see that talent is going to be, we'll be focusing on building up more talent back in the Leawood market.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. The view, I'm sure, is just incredible, right? On the Plaza.
It's amazing. We have held actually, several events there, and it's just the best. It's just so fun to watch people's faces when they walk in and they look around, and we have a great with all of our interior design, and all of our buildings are done very, very nicely. And so people walk in and their eyeballs get about this big when they see how beautiful, not just the views are, clearly the views are beautiful, but the decor is beautiful. And we strategically design the space so that everything on the south side of the building that overlooks the plaza, we can use that for meetings, and we can use that for business, community events and client events. And so we've actually had our fair share of events already there this year.
I love that. And we'll be there in December 3rd. We'll have a neighborhood networking event there. And I'm stoked, extremely stoked about that. And so going back to, your strategic planning, you mentioned before this, you're heading to Phoenix, you're heading to Dallas. How do you guys select, the city, the right city to kind of to move into? And what's your strategy there?
All about the people. It's all about a leader that is available in that market to help us make the connections that we need to grow our brand. And so every market that we've expanded into, it's because the right person has been available to come help us build out the team, help us build out advisory boards, and build out a client base.
And so Scottsdale, you mentioned, just opened or is just starting up. Any new cities on the horizon that you can share with us? Or
we do have a few others that we're looking at, but probably should keep those to ourselves until that becomes more developed.
Perfect. I can accept that. So.
Yeah. It's funny. Our Scottsdale office, they're in temporary space right now, so they kind of joke. I think there are 6 or 7 of them, and when they want to have a conference or a meeting, they all just turn their chairs around to face one another because they're in some temporary space. And so we'll be moving into our new space. I'll be able to see our new space when I'm there next week for a strategic planning meeting. But I think the plan is to open that location, the freestanding bank, in December. So we're excited about that.
There's a lot to be said about, everyone being in a small space. You can, again, just turn your chairs. The convenience is fantastic. Yep. Good. Well, just to shift just a little bit, tell us a couple of things you like to do when you're not working. You're in the strategic planning mode right now, and so it's super busy, but how do you relax, or what do you do in your downtime?
Yeah, golf is probably the number one thing on my list of things to do when I'm not at work. My husband and I love to travel. I love to cook. It's kind of he always tries to make it easy on me when I've had a stressful day and want to take me out to dinner. But I say, no, actually pouring a glass of wine and cooking is a great stress reliever for me. So like the creative freedom that I can have by getting in the kitchen.
That's not bad. I'm sure he enjoys that.
He does enjoy that. Oh, and by the way, one other thing that we like to do when I'm not working is we have 10 grandchildren. 10 grandchildren with number 11 on the way. So they kind of do keep us busy too.
Oh, I love that. That's incredible. 10. So, when you mentioned earlier, you do a lot for the community and the community, and what is that volunteering? What does that look like for you on boards, or what does that volunteer look like for you?
Yeah, a few things. I currently serve on the board of the Salvation Army. I served for 8 years on the MOXA board, with the last 2 years being the chair of the board. And so that's a great organization that I really spent a lot of time with, and have now gotten someone else from the bank connected once I rolled off of that board. There is another board that I'm getting ready to go on, but probably not ready to talk about that until after the first of the year. My husband and I, together with some friends, we started a charity golf tournament to raise money for the Center for Advanced Care at the University of Kansas Hospital. It's a golf tournament called Golfology for Cardiology, and we've raised about $750,000 in the 13 years that we've had that golf tournament. So love doing that as well.
That's fantastic. And to stay on that golf theme, I have to ask, what are your, let's say, top 3 favorite courses in the Kansas City region?
Shadow Glen, which is our home course, is absolute beautiful course. Love playing that. The Flint Hills out in Andover, Kansas, is a beautiful course. And probably the National is a really fun course. I've got some friends that live up there and enjoy going up there and playing that course as well.
So Shannon's a golfer. She got me into golf, kind of. She got me clubs. Long story. Any tips for me? I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get better. Do you have any tips?
Well, I will tell you that I have had to learn that you can have a really good day and then you can turn around and have a really bad day. I mean, you can have a really good hole and then turn around and have a really bad hole. So I try not to let my emotions overtake, because when that happens, things can spiral downhill pretty quickly. So I try to just kind of go back to the 3 or 4 things that are basic when I feel my game starting to lose control a little bit. So patience, I would say, and you just got to play through the tough times, and you never know what the next swing is going to bring.
I like that. Yeah, you have all these people there, giving you this tip and that tip, and then you're like, you've got the 20 things that you're trying to focus on, yes. And then you just forget to swing and hit the ball,
Exactly. Sometimes I stand over the ball and there's so many thoughts going through my head. It's just like, just swing.
When all else fails, I always say, see ball, hit ball. That's right. Hit ball. That's what it comes down to when I have so many things going on. See ball, hit ball.
That's right.
Perfect. Well, we mentioned before this that the time goes super fast, and this was exceptionally fast for us. And we have one last question that we always ask our guests. That's always the same, and that is one thing. What is one thing that you would like our audience or members to know about CrossFirst Bank?
That we are a bank that cares about our employees, we care about our clients, and we care about our community. That is a word that has come up over and over again in some of the leadership exercises that we have done. And I was just actually at dinner this week with a fairly new client, and he shared with me that during their process of interviewing new banks, that one of the things that really came through loud and clear as they were talking to our team was that we really cared. And that made me so proud to know that a client actually felt that, because that is our culture, and I see our employees living that every day.
And to that point, I remember just last year, I think when I think I called to change the address in our system, and I forget the gal I talked to, but we had like a 15-minute conversation. It just happened, right? And it was just, she was just so engaging, and I don't know what position she was in, but just a testament, to like everyone I've worked with there has just been incredible. So kudos to you guys on doing that.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. I can tell you story after story that I hear from clients about the special way that they have been treated in certain situations by our employees, and it's really at every level of the organization. So very proud of that.
Good. Well, pat yourself on the back. You're doing good. I love that. I love that. And Kristin, gosh, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure getting to know you and learning you're a golfer, and hopefully you can maybe teach me and maybe Shannon. I don't know. I'd like to see you guys go head to head and see who can win. Anyway, thanks for joining us today, Kristin.
Thank you.
Thank you.